What's up, Crypto Universe? You're watching Rock the Block Live with me, Eugene Tay.
And me, Malcolm.
So what's up with the cryptocurrency scene this week?
It's up by quite a few, by double digits.
It's up, guys. Bitcoin is being stagnant for a few weeks. It is now at 3.9. People are saying it might bust 4.2. And as always, you get one camp saying, oh, it's testing the limits. Once it hits 4.2, it's going to go sky high. And the other camp is saying, oh, we have not bottomed out yet. But, so, which camp do you guys belong to? Leave us something in the comment below.
I mean, if you asked me this question 6 months ago, without a doubt, I will be in the moon camp. Now, I'm not too sure. We'll wait and see.
I don't know. I just sold off one Bitcoin just in case. You know, one of the mistakes I learned the last few years is I hodl on too long. In fact, you might have seen me in some videos that says hodl to the moon. Well, I don't wear that anymore.
you burn that shirt.
No, I love that t-shirt. It's very comfortable.
You keep it for a special day, you know, when it starts to come, when the crypto market starts to recover.
But what I've learned in the last few months is to take in the investment mindset of traditional investors. Cover your calls, sell it out, you know, mitigate your risk, don't hold on to all, you know, when you're 40 years old, you need to buy a house, you got a kid to take care of, you just don't want to put, you know, all in, double down on nothing, right? So that's coming from an old man.
The reason why the market is like that is because of people like you. How dare you?
How dare me, right? So, well, some people have also said that it might bottom out at 2.5. So, what really is anyone's guess. As always, when we talk about Bitcoin prediction, it can go, well, one of two ways, up, down, but never stagnant. I suppose the biggest news that we want to talk about this week is about a very famous gentleman who came up sometime in 2017 saying Bitcoin is a scam. No prizes for guessing who it is because everyone in the crypto scene is ripping this guy a new. His name is Jamie Dimon from JP Morgan, who was famous for saying that Bitcoin is scam, but yet, and he also said he would fire anyone from the company who dare dabble in cryptocurrency. But yet,
here we are, and he has his own coin called JPM coin. What it does, I have no idea because I have just no interest in understanding. Do you know anything about it? Maybe you can enlighten us.
Well, the minute I saw his face saying that he's just released a new coin,
totally switched off, man.
I went on social media and I started ranting as well. But you know, the whole point is, it's very hypocritical to slam cryptocurrency and then coming up with your own coin.
Yeah, I think it's really weird, you know, people who do that. I know you. Okay, sorry. Yeah, I think it's very weird for people to do that, and it's very bad for the whole environment because when you come out, you know, you are a leader in the space. You know, you're in charge of a big bank.
They are the first major institutional bank that's releasing their own cryptocurrency.
Yeah, and I think it's just so weird that people with such power come in and they slam the coin. And who knows, that might actually be one of the reasons why it plummeted so badly.
Yeah, there were some rumors, right? Like after he released that statement, the price went down and then
he grabbed some.
He grabbed
because there was actually a report saying that JP Morgan, coming from their desk, actually purchased a very high volume of Bitcoin. Yeah. So who knows, you know, this is really like market manipulation.
But see, Malcolm, quite frankly, things like these don't happen overnight, right? Yeah. You do not develop a coin, market it, and ready to launch overnight. You would have at least 1 year. And considering that these are bigger businesses, you would need more than a year to actually start planning and
considering it. Yeah.
So the fact that he came out in 2017, late 2017, and talk about Bitcoin in that fashion, you know, and then you look at today, 2019, first quarter of the year, he's released JPM coin. One may get suspicious that even back then in 2017, JP Morgan has already been planning
right?
for this.
I mean, he's the boss, right? So he most probably has a blockchain, you know, R&D department that has been researching on all this stuff. So, I mean, he must have been kept in the loop and he must have knew what was going on, but yet he continued to slam it and now he's backing it and saying it's the next big thing. It's just really, really weird.
You know what? If I were him, I might have done the same thing because when you look at all the scammers making away with so much money, if you can beat them, join them. But that's not all the famous people we have for you today. We have 3 names. So JP Morgan, Jamie Dimon is down. Second name on the list is Elon Musk.
All right, so Elon Musk has always been a notable figure in the crypto market, in the crypto world, but he doesn't actually...
Not for the right reasons.
Not for the right reasons. The reason why he was a little bit popular in the crypto space is because he came out sometime last year saying he bought some Bitcoin, which he later denied and said it was just a joke.
Yeah, and so he was saying that, who wants to buy Bitcoin?
Yeah, who wants to buy Bitcoin? You know, so basically that was it. So the interesting thing about Elon Musk is that he just came out with his first statement and praising cryptocurrencies and blockchain technology for its applications. So he quotes, cryptocurrencies bypass currency control. Paper money is going away, and crypto is a far better way to transfer value than a piece of paper. That's for sure. And I think he is a very he's a very far-sighted person. He's launching rockets into space. He created electric cars. And I am someone who gets behind, when people like Elon Musk says that cryptocurrency is the future, I feel a little bit better.
Yeah.
I feel a little bit more, I feel happy.
Interviewers from ARK Investment has asked that would you be accepting Bitcoin for Tesla? And he said no, because right now to mine a Bitcoin takes up so much energy. And in fact, what Tesla is trying to do is to conserve energy. Yeah. So again, that's a conflict of interest.
Fair point for that.
Yeah.
I think that's interesting. That's an interesting point, and just speculation here. But I think ARK Invest comes from the main team comes from ARK, which is actually a proof of stake coin, and they are also building their own blockchain. And their blockchain, I've always been a very big ARK fan, and it looks really good. So maybe proof of stake is something that Elon Musk might feel a little bit more comfortable with, because the reason why proof of stake is being considered by even people like Ethereum is because it is solving the energy crisis that cryptocurrency is posing. Proof of work is a terrible waste of resources, although important for decentralization. Sometimes that to get the decentralized, to become decentralized and to spend a kind of effort and natural resources just to maintain it may not be too, will not resonate with so many people.
But who's going to, have a debate with you on that?
Who?
Ruben from Zcoin. Well, stay tuned. This is not the video for that. There will be a video we're going to release next, where Ruben from Zcoin talks about exactly that particular topic on mining, on proof of stake. Also, stay tuned. Right after this, the next point that we're going to talk about, we're going to share with you on a new coin, or not a new coin, a project that is moving towards proof of stake as well. So stay tuned for that. Now, speaking of money, paper money, right? Elon Musk saying that it's going to be overwritten in terms of its value. Team Draper, our third guy on the list today, has said that sooner or later in the time to come, everyone's going to be using digital currency. Already now we are seeing a lot of countries pushing for paperless transaction, putting everything on digital currency. Not just cryptocurrency, but just paperless transaction. When that happens, it's very easy to track where the flow of money. And I think banks are really happy about that because it handles the KYC and AML portion, which means that in the near future, we might see paper money being the tool used by criminals. So there you have it. While regulators are looking at Bitcoin and saying that Bitcoin is evil because it's supporting a black market industry, guess what? When everything goes onto digital currency, paper money is going to be the tool that terrorists will be using.
The other piece of interesting news we have today is about Bitcoin ETF. So, recently it got withdrawn, before it got approved by the SEC. However, it has been resubmitted today. So we have the VanEck, Solid X, as well as the CBOE BZX proposals that have been submitted to the SEC with a 45 days countdown clock. So within that 45 days, the SEC will make a decision whether the ETFs will be approved or not. Now, the interesting thing about ETFs and everything is all about regulations. And I think the regulator's job is to just provide a clear benchmark or a clear set of rules. And once you can follow those rules, there shouldn't be any issues. So people are these people who submitted the ETFs proposals are fairly confident as long as there's no prata flipping in the middle of all these, of approving the ETF. You know, and a lot of things have changed, such as, for example, Fidelity, one of the biggest asset managers in the world, one of the fifth largest actually, managing 7.2 trillion worth of assets, you know, committed to create a Bitcoin, a blockchain, a cryptocurrency trading desk. So, you know, news like that when it comes to adoption from institutional big boys, right? There is more push for things like ETFs because it is a safer and an easier way to get exposure into the crypto market.
Yeah, doesn't mean it's a good thing.
Doesn't mean it's a good thing. And the last piece of news we have today is about Binance launching its DEX. So it's a decentralized exchange, and they will be using a Binance chain to manage this. So right now, Binance Coin is under ERC20, which is built on the Ethereum network. However, once they are successfully launched their DEX, they will be migrating their ERC20 token into the native token will be hosted on the Binance DEX. So, you know, as a decentralized exchange, it's pretty straightforward. You find coins, you buy coins, you sell coins, no one can stop you. It's pretty straightforward. It's like a centralized exchange, just that you don't have to worry about, you know, being hacked. So you have to keep, but the problem is you have to make sure that your private keys, your passwords are extremely secured. Please don't lose them. If any of you out there using DEXs, please make sure, you know, security is of number one and utmost importance. Now, the only thing interesting, the only news that we have right now is that it's launched it's testnet, so actually users can go in, can create a wallet, can try interacting with interface. So maybe you guys can give it a try.
Yeah.
And if you are planning to list on the Binance DEX, you have to pay $100,000. That is the fee that CZ has actually openly announced and said $100,000 is the barrier of entry. We do this, cover charge, and we want to make sure the reason being is that we want to make sure there's as little scam coins as possible are being listed on Binance.
Viewers of Rock the Block Live, you know that I am a huge Wanchain fan and also the ambassador for Wanchain. So I'm going to talk about the 2019 roadmap. Now, 2017, Wanchain was focused on going onto the main, right? That was the heyday. I was going crazy about it. Now, 2018, while the market was bleeding and going down, Wanchain in fact hit all their milestones. They launched Wanchain 3.0. They had the Bitcoin, Ethereum,
interoperability.
Which was big news.
Yeah, right? Big news. Yeah.
Now, 2019, what can we expect from these guys, right? So in 2019, they're going to focus a lot more on creating the developers ecosystem. While the engineers are still working on the technology behind the Wanchain program, we need to have more devs building upon this system and using the Wanchain system so that, you know, having the best tech out there without any users, it's pointless.
Yeah, I mean, adoption is a very big part of for cryptocurrency companies who create chains, you know, like Wanchain, Ethereum, or be Arc, and the dApps are the one that define, you know, how useful or the improvements that you need to make in order to make it good. Correct. Like for example, if you look at more of the dApps these days, it's actually built on EOS. The reason being is that there's no fees involved in transacting. So people like to use EOS for games, especially because there's a lot of transactions going on and people don't really like to pay gas, you know. So in that aspect, even though we all know EOS has problems with centralization, it is a good platform for games. So I'm interested to see, you know, what Wanchain specialty would be, and excited to see what kind of communities they bring into their ecosystem.
Because let's face it, to the end user, they won't know very much about Wanchain, right? It's what's going to be built upon Wanchain that's going to make a difference to the ecosystem. To the developers out there, Wanchain wants you guys. Also, we can expect more ERC20 integrations in 2019. Already, we have Makers DAO, DAI, and MKR, Gemini Dollar, Loopspring, and Chainlink. In the next couple of months, we're going to see another stablecoin being integrated as well. The other thing that I found very interesting is a lot of developers forget one very important feature that would attract people to use their system.
What is that?
User experience and user interface.
Yes.
Okay, so Wanchain this year, they're going to release technical and non-technical documentation for developers. They're going to build dashboards to make it really easy for developers to come on board and build dApps on their system.
I think that is really an encouraging sign, because the worst thing that any developer has to face is bad interface, as well as users.
Bad documentation,
bad,
don't know how to start.
Yeah, it's very troublesome because it's messy, everything is everywhere. And a lot of people more developers are coming in, which means that they are newer to the kind of code and languages that is being used. So having a user experience that is easy and seamless will definitely attract more developers who are non-crypto to come join in the fun.
That's right. Good job on that one. Also, Wanchain 4.0 will be released the end of this year. Like 3.0 was also supposed to be end of last year, but in fact they hit their milestone way before the promised time. But 4.0 for Wanchain is going to be focused on enterprise solutions. And what's interesting is they have been studying, they've been doing this and studying this part of the industry for very long, because when I spoke to Jack sometime last year, he had this vision that the future of blockchain is not just B2C level, but to get all the enterprise solutions that come in, they will need some solutions. So why not build upon the Wanchain ecosystem?
Like we talk about private chains.
What's really cool is they're going to use that system. The term is, the technical framework behind this solution is based on the same Stallman node system that is enabling the public chain to public chain integration. So they're going to use Stallman node system to help the private chains from all these enterprise solutions to interface with public chain.
Wow, very interesting.
That's regular. Yeah, that's
so
that's
instead of like
game
boxing
changer.
yourself up within your own a company or your own island, now you're able to build bridges between all these micro islands and kind of connect to the mainland.
So it's almost like traditionally you're saying that your company has your own local area network, but you're also connected to the internet and connecting to other systems.
Which makes it more flexible. Of course, there's a lot of benefits of doing your own things internally, but there are also use cases for when you want to reach out into the mass market and to touch bases with the public.
So to me, that is a very important use of cross-chain. Right? So when people ask me, what's so important about cross-chain? This is one of that. Last year, we see Bitcoin and Ethereum joining the network. This year, in 2019, we'll be seeing 2 more new blockchain systems, but we don't know which one yet.
I think EOS will be one.
Well,
I think.
Maybe. If you guys really want a particular blockchain to be integrated with Wanchain, why don't you just drop us a text and let us know which one that you're rooting for. Okay. Finally, and this is my favorite. And what's the third guy? This one guy that usually sits in that position.
Jordan.
Yeah, Jordan's in New Zealand right now. Hey, Jordan. Jordan loves proof of stake, and Wanchain is now testing out a proof of stake system. So what's proof of stake really? It's using a consensus model that when you hold on to a particular token, you get to be part of a consensus model to determine how certain transaction flows. But to the layperson, what proof of stake really means to you guys is by holding on to more coins, you get more coins. Right? If you're interested in the technology behind that, you can click on the link below. Wanchain will talk to you more about how they are trying to be innovative with their versions of proof of stake. So that's all we have for you for Wanchain 2019 roadmap. So keeping my fingers crossed they hit everything on a milestone. Now we're gonna go over to our weatherman for today, Radical Rob, who's gonna talk to us about. What's he gonna talk to us about, Rob?
Private chain and public chain.
Just nice.
Private chain and public chain.
Thanks, Eugene. Hi, Crypto Universe. This is Radical Rob again. It has been a few weeks that I've been on the. It has been a few weeks that I was last on the video, so it's good to see you guys again and happy belated Chinese New Year. So this week I want to talk about the blockchain use cases. Okay, before we go into blockchain, let's look at traditional database. So traditional database actually has a function of CRUD, which is create, read, update and delete function. Whereas blockchain, you can only read and write. So it actually gives a lot of security to blockchain technology. And that's why we see that from 2017 till now, there's a lot of big corporations adopting blockchain technology. Okay, for example, IBM, Microsoft, JP Morgan that Eugene has mentioned. okay, Nasdaq, Foxconn, and Merck Shipping as well. So all these big companies, why are they adopting blockchain technology? Is because the security and the decentralization in blockchain technology, where if it's a big consortium of different companies and different entities, different stakeholders, where there is not enough trust among this big consortium, we have to find somebody or a third party that can host this data and is decentralized from the authority of all these stakeholders. So blockchain is the perfect solution for this. And everybody have a common ledger to look at what is on the database and is verified and is secured. So this technology actually can solve a lot of real-world issues, real-world problems in a lot of industry. For example, supply chain management. So going forward, I'm going to talk a little bit on supply chain management and why it is a good use case for blockchain technology. Okay, so down this chain, there are multiple stakeholders. So everybody will not have enough trust for someone along the chain to host the data. So if the supplier hosts the data, does the distributor trust everything from the supplier? May not be. So blockchain is a good use case for this. And it can solve all the long-time problem in the supply chain management. Okay, for example, now supply chain is getting more and more challenging, competitive because of globalization. And of course, because of the increasing demand of the end user and the clients, customers. So naturally, blockchain is the perfect solution for supply chain. And a lot of big corporations are using private chain instead of a public chain, where we see a lot of cryptocurrency projects are using. It's because big corporations, they want the ownership and they want the privacy in their data, so they are not sharing this with the public. So and blockchain can help you to automate the process, and it will eliminate going forward a lot of third parties that helps to host the data previously in the supply chain. Because in the supply chain, different companies will have their own set of ledger, which are not really reconciled among everybody. So this creates a problem along the chain to the end user where you don't get the authenticity of the data you get. So blockchain can actually reduce a lot of costs, operation costs in the supply chain management process. And Radical Finance is actually publishing a report on supply chain management, and we are seeing more and more supplier in different industry like automotive, food supply, shipping, logistic company coming into to ask us questions on how to implement blockchain technology. So we are happy to see that more and more corporations are willing to find out about blockchain technology and willing to adopt this into their system. And we hope to see that in 2019 there will be more adoption of blockchain technology, and so that it can actually help the cryptocurrency market to come back again. So from all these weeks, we see that a lot of corporations are inquiring about blockchain technology with us, so that we also have a research report and implementation report based on supply chain management. So if you guys are interested, okay, please look at below link and you will get some samples of the report. And of course, please don't forget to follow Rock the Block Live and stay with us. I'll see you next week.
Thank you very much for joining us on Rock the Block Live today. Before we say goodbye to you, we want to leave you with two quotes.
Alright, so the first quote is from legendary investor Warren Buffett, and he says, "Be greedy when others are fearful, and be fearful when others are greedy."
And the other quote is by George Soros that says, "There is always a divergence between what's your perception and what is really out there." Well, good night. Good luck with your investment. My name is Eugene Tay.
And my name is Malcolm.
Saying goodbye. See you guys in the next video.